Isn't an underground park an oxymoron? Don't plants need direct sunlight to grow? Not so, says our next guest, architect James Ramsey, the co-founder and mastermind behind the Lowline, the world's first underground park. And he joins us now to talk about it. James, welcome. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about your aha moment when you walked into that underground trolley station.
It was a little bit like a moment out of Indiana Jones or something. All of a sudden, a door opened up. I came out of a hallway, and there it was. It was like a giant cavernous space. And
what had that space been?
it's a former trolley terminal underneath Delancey Street on New York's Lower East Side. And
what were you doing down there? That's another question.
well, I had heard a Shaggy Dog story that it existed, and graffiti guys called it the Lost City. So I knew that there was something enormous down there, and I looked through MTA records, and you know, it exists.
And how did you see that space and suddenly think, a park?
Well, I had been fiddling at the time with a technology that concentrates sunlight and allows you to transport it to somewhere else. And so just the two sides of the equation just kind of clicked together, and I was like, oh my God, you can actually use this sunlight to grow stuff.
Absolutely fabulous idea. So tell us how the technology works exactly.
I'm going to try and explain this as simply as possible, but you can take sunlight, concentrate it down to a super concentrated bead, and send that through effectively plumbing. And then when you get it to where you want to put it, you spread it back out.
And what sorts of plants do best in your underground park?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We just finished building what we're calling the Lowline Lab, and that's on the Lower East Side. And it's a test facility that actually has the real technology actually working very well.
Good to know.
And, yeah, right. That's what a relief. And we're actually experimenting with something like 150 different plant species to see what actually likes those conditions the best.
So obviously there's a broader concept here. What is the idea behind an underground park? I mean, why not just put it above ground?
Well, I mean, there's a couple things at play here. You know, first of all, it's sort of an experience that's probably unlike any other. So that's actually just kind of interesting, right?
Sure.
Second of all, you know, New York's a crowded place, and we're kind of running out of room in a lot of our neighborhoods. And so this is kind of a scrappy solution to just a public space problem. And then I guess third of all, if you have the idea of this urban green space underground, it allows you to actually have a public space with openness and plants, et cetera, that you can actually use year-round.
Now, it's named the Lowline, which of course makes you think of the High Line, which was another popular urban space redesigned as a park. Is that the intention?
You know, that's kind of a nickname that was actually given to us, but it's so catchy that it's stuck, and we're not going to fight it.
That's right. Sounds good. Now, how is the Lowline Lab doing? Visitors can come. It's open to the public?
Oh, yeah. We've had it's open on weekends from 11 to 4, and so far we've had over 10,000 people come by. It's been pretty popular. I think people are just really curious about this, how it works.
So what is the next step in this project, and what are the challenges you face getting there?
Well, there's a couple things. This is a project that's completely a grassroots movement, and so there's no client. The city didn't ask us to do this or anything like that. So we've been sort of engaged in this complex negotiation with the city and the state to transfer the space to us, and also we have to raise the money to build it.
How much money do you need?
We are projecting between $55 and $70 million.
Is the city or the state giving you anything?
No comment yet.
Okay.
We're doing actually all right on the fundraising, and then the final hurdle, of course, is just the raw engineering behind doing something that no one's ever done before.
Sure. It's a fascinating idea. Where can people go to learn more and to maybe visit the Lowline Lab?
Well, I mean, I think the easiest thing to do would be to check out our website, which is thelowline.org, or you can actually come by 140 Essex Street if you live in New York or you're visiting New York and actually see this real-life thing in operation.
James Ramsey, fantastic idea. Thanks so much for coming and telling us about it.
All right.